Now, Angular has evolved quite a lot during the past few years, and developing new web apps with the newer versions of Angular have got much easier. Since I'm going to use a lot of the new features of Angular in this course, I'd like to give you an overview of them here, just as a heads up so that you can get familiar with them beforehand. But don't worry if you find them a bit new. I'll explain all of the code that we'll be adding along the way so you don't find it difficult. I'm also attaching some links to this lecture so that you can go through them if you'd like to get familiar with them. So with that, let's start with the first modern concept, and that is of Angular standalone components. If you're familiar with Angular's history, you'd remember ng modules, which are sections of code in Angular containing the components within it. So before standalone components, it was mandatory for every component to be part of an ng module, as you can see in the snippet here. Now this was good for organization, but the mental model was a bit difficult for beginners and made it difficult to change code later on. With standalone components now, we don't need ng modules at all, and every component can be used standalone as it is and can be imported in any other component. So as you can see here in this code snippet from this very course itself, the standalone flag here is set to true and the imports array is there, which tells the components its dependencies. So I'll be using standalone components in our app because they're much simpler. Great. Second is the Signals API. Now this has just been introduced as a developer preview in Angular 16, in which we are building our app. Signals are a new reactive primitive in Angular which allow the framework to performantly track changes to any piece of data. Till now, Angular has been using a less performant change detection method using zone.js. Now this works, but it's not ideal. So in our app, I'll be using signals for all of the state that I have in my components. For example, in the snippet here, you can see the current user state, which is a signal, and then I refer it to it in my templates using the parenthesis to get the value. Now this makes it truly reactive, and it avoids having us to use RxJS observables in our templates with the async pipe. Great. Now third, and this is a simple one, the inject function. Till recently, Angular allowed injecting dependencies such as services in the components by using the constructor syntax, as you can see in the snapshot above. Now we can also use the inject function to do so, as you can see below. So both of these codes are basically interchangeable. So why do we use the inject function? Because it is easier to read and it gives built-in type inference. I'll be using the same throughout the course. And with that, that is enough theory. Now let's get started in the next lecture by setting up our Angular 16 project, and I'll see you there.